The ports have faced challenges such as congestion fees, dwell times, chassis shortages, and railcar delays, which have slowed down the movement of goods and increased costs for importers and exporters. Let's take a closer look at each of these challenges and how they affect the supply chain. Congestion fees are charges that shipping lines impose on cargo owners when their containers stay at the port longer than the agreed free time. These fees are meant to discourage shippers from using the port as a storage facility and to free up space for incoming vessels. However, congestion fees also add to the financial burden of importers and exporters who have to pay extra for their shipments. Dwell times are the average number of days that containers spend at the port before being picked up by truck or rail. Longer dwell times mean that containers occupy valuable space at the port and reduce its capacity to handle more cargo. Dwell times also increase the risk of theft, damage, or spoilage of goods. Chassis shortages are the lack of available trailers that attach to trucks to haul containers from the port to their final destination. Chassis are essential for the smooth flow of cargo, but they are often in short supply due to high demand, maintenance issues, or allocation problems. Chassis shortages cause delays and frustration for truckers who have to wait in long lines to get a chassis or switch between different chassis pools. Railcar delays are the bottlenecks that occur when railroads cannot provide enough trains or locomotives to transport containers from the port to inland destinations. Railcar delays can be caused by various factors such as weather disruptions, track maintenance, labor disputes, or equipment failures. Railcar delays affect not only the port but also the entire rail network, as they create backlogs and congestion along the routes. These challenges have a cumulative impact on the efficiency and reliability of the port operations and the supply chain as a whole. They also have a negative effect on the environment, as they generate more emissions and waste from idling trucks, trains, and ships. To overcome these challenges, the ports need to work closely with their stakeholders, such as shipping lines, terminal operators, truckers, railroads, cargo owners, and regulators, to find solutions that can improve the flow of goods and reduce costs. The U.S. Seaports have been facing a numbers hangover in import volumes since the COVID-19 pandemic disrupted the global supply chains. The surge in demand for consumer goods and the shortage of shipping containers have created bottlenecks and congestion at the ports, affecting both importers and exporters. To cope with this challenge, the ports have taken some actions to improve their efficiency and capacity. One of these actions is shifting to 24/7 operations, which means that the ports are open for business around the clock. This allows more trucks and trains to move cargo in and out of the ports, reducing dwell times and congestion. Another action is offering discounts for off-peak hours, which means that the ports are incentivizing shippers and truckers to use the ports during less busy times of the day or week. This helps to spread out the traffic and ease the pressure on the infrastructure. A third action is collaborating with terminal operators and shipping lines, which means that the ports are working together with their partners to coordinate their operations and optimize their resources. This helps to avoid delays and conflicts that could hamper the flow of cargo. A fourth action is increasing chassis production, which means that the ports are investing in more equipment to transport containers from ships to trucks or trains. This helps to address the shortage of chassis that has been limiting the movement of cargo. These actions have shown some positive results in reducing the number of container ships waiting for berths at U.S. ports, increasing the total number of container imports, and raising the level of real retail inventories. However, there are still some challenges that remain, such as poor rail service, low export volumes, and aging infrastructure. The U.S. Seaports will need to continue their efforts to deal with the import volume hangover and ensure a smooth and resilient supply chain for the country.